Hi everyone, this is Gabriel, this is Schellingtubers. It is a series of videos related to Schelling's philosophy, particularly his philosophy of nature and his philosophy of art. Today I'm working with the 5 names Schelling gives to philosophy of nature. They are philosophy of nature, dynamic atomism, Spinozism of physics, speculative physics, and finally empiricism elevated to the unconditioned. Those names may sound strange, but they explain a lot about Schelling's project of a philosophy of nature. Schelling works with the name philosophy of nature in 2 ways. He uses the German Philosophie der Natur or the German Naturphilosophie. In the first case, Philosophie der Natur, it gives the idea of philosophy investigating nature, investigating the field of physics as a subdivision of philosophy. Whereas the second name, Naturphilosophie, gives the idea of a philosophy that is dedicated to the study of nature and not just a section of philosophy like philosophy of art, philosophy of nature, philosophy of history, of right, and so on. So, Naturphilosophie gives the idea of one philosophy that is dedicated to the investigation of nature and its implications in ethics, aesthetics, etc. This, I believe, is the direction Schelling's philosophy takes during the years between 180 until 1800 until 1805, I would say, maybe 1807. And Schelling thinks that nature is investigated by philosophers in its aspect of productivity, and nature is investigated by scientists regarding its products. So speculative physics is different from empirical physics, but they are not opposed. They help each other to understand and investigate nature. Just the products don't offer us nature as a whole, and just the productivity don't allow us to grasp, to perceive nature's products, because human beings can't capture it as a whole. They can conceive it, but they can't grasp it, I would say. So this is why philosophy of nature is a speculative physics and not an empirical physics. Schelling considers a lot the contributions in the fields of magnetism, electricity, chemistry, and so on. Also, it is important to think that the philosophy of nature is a Spinozism of physics. This is a mention to Spinoza, who was a very important philosopher to Schelling. Schelling was quite fond of him since very young. And Spinoza defends the idea that nature or the universe is a system that can be explained based on one principle, the principle of substance, and some other axioms, but ontologically the root of it is the idea of substance or God. And God is nature itself. It is not external to nature, it is not transcendent to nature, it is immanent. And this is very important for Schelling, the idea of an immanent principle of nature. Nature cannot be explained by what is external to it, it is only explainable by itself. This is very interesting and very close to the way sciences think nature, I would say. So this is very good, very updated and interesting aspect in Schelling's philosophy of nature, the Spinozism of physics. Also, Schelling thinks that philosophy of nature, Schelling also thinks philosophy of nature is empiricism, however, an empiricism that reaches the unconditioned. It is empiricism because it describes experiments of nature. It is based on the observation of nature to some extent, particularly experiments in the fields of chemistry, electricity, magnetism, medicine, physiology. However, it describes experiments such as galvanism and some of Bernoulli's and Benjamin Franklin's experiments, for example. Those experiments, they are described, but thinking about the ideas of productivity, matter, as an interplay of forces, and etc. The idea of matter is very important to Schelling's philosophy of nature, and he discusses a construction of matter, and this leads us to the final name of philosophy of nature. It is a dynamic atomism. It is not a materialistic atomism, because Schelling thinks matter is divisible, infinitely divisible. You never reach an undivisible point of matter to Schelling. So it is conceived as a continuum, not as discrete to Schelling. And even though he considers matter undivisible, matter as divisible to the infinity, he believes matter is the result of an interplay of forces. So matter can be reduced to elementary forces that constitute matter. Those elementary forces express themselves, potentialize themselves in the phenomena of magnetism, chemistry, and electricity. So these are the 5 names of philosophy of nature. I know it is hard, but this idea is just to give some guideline to an interesting resource to think about the texts of philosophy of nature, which are quite daunting and difficult. And this is it. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I will see you later.